You're not stuck because you're not good enough. You're stuck because nobody taught you the game. Let me ask you something honest. You spent nights grinding through tutorials. You've finished courses on Udemy. You've read the Medium articles. You've watched the YouTube breakdowns. Maybe even attended a networking event where you stood in the corner holding a drink you didn't want. And you're still here. Same title, same salary, same desk. Meanwhile, the guy who joined 6 months after you got promoted to mid-level. Your bootcamp classmate is now a senior engineer at a company you'd kill to work for. And every time a family member asks, "So, how is the job going?" you feel that familiar knot in your stomach. If you've been a junior developer for 18 months or more, then this is probably you. Here's what nobody tells you. The reason you're stuck has got nothing to do with your coding skills. It's not your GitHub. It's not your stack. It's not that you haven't learned Rust yet. The real reason is this. The tech industry runs on a hidden career operating system that nobody documents, nobody teaches, and almost nobody talks about out loud. Think about it. Your computer science degree taught you algorithms. Your bootcamp taught you syntax. Your job teaches you tickets and deadlines. But who taught you how to become visible to the people who make promotion decisions? Who taught you how to build the kind of professional reputation that makes recruiters reach out to you? Who taught you how to walk into a salary negotiation and walk out with 20,000 more than you expected? Nobody. And that's not your fault. You've been playing a game where you only knew half the rules. So you do what makes logical sense. You take another course. You build another side project. You work longer hours, hoping someone notices. You update your LinkedIn bio for the third time this year. None of it moves the needle. Because here's the brutal truth. Technical skills get you in the room. Career strategy is what gets you promoted. The developers advancing around you, they're not necessarily better coders than you. They just figured it out, accidentally or intentionally, how to work the system. They know how to make their work visible. They know how to build relationships that open doors. They know how to position themselves so that when a senior role opens up, their name is already on the list. You've been trying to win a chess match by only moving pawns. And the longer you stay stuck, the more expensive it gets. Every month you spend at your current salary instead of a senior role is roughly 1,500 to 4,000 in lost income. Not theoretical money, real money. The kind that pays for your own apartment instead of a shared one. The kind that lets you stop doing the mental math every time you want to go out for dinner. The kind that makes you feel like you actually made it. Here's what the research confirms, and what 24 years of watching developers rise and stall taught me directly. The developers who break through to senior roles within 12 to 18 months share three things that have got nothing to do with their code. Number one, a clear, honest picture of exactly where their gaps are. Number two, a deliberate strategy for how they show up professionally, online and in person. And number three, a small but powerful network of people who advocate for them when they're not in the room. Most young engineers have none of these three things. Not because they're lazy, not because they're not smart enough, because they're following the wrong map. And the worst part, the longer you follow the wrong map, the more you start to believe the problem is you, that maybe you're just not cut out for this, that maybe the imposter syndrome you feel is actually accurate. It isn't. But staying on the wrong path long enough will make it feel that way. The good news? This is a solvable problem, completely, systematically, provably solvable. And that's exactly what I want to show you next. Here's what nobody in the tech industry wants to admit out loud. The developers who get promoted fast, they're not necessarily the best coders in the room. Let that sink in for a second. You've been grinding, learning new frameworks, staying late, fixing bugs nobody else wanted to touch, doing everything right. And yet, nothing moves. Meanwhile, the guy who joined 6 months after you just got bumped to mid-level, then senior, then he's leading a project. You're sitting there thinking, what does he have that I don't? Here's the brutal truth. He figured out something you weren't taught, something no boot camp covers, something Udemy has 0 courses on. It's called career architecture. See, there are 2 completely separate games happening inside every tech company. Game 1, writing good code. Game 2, being seen as someone who deserves to write the important code. Most young engineers, including you right now, are playing game 1 with everything they've got. But promotions, raises, and senior titles, they're won in game 2. And here's the kicker. Nobody told you game 2 even existed. That's not your fault. The education system handed you syntax, algorithms, and data structures. Your bootcamp taught you to build things. Your manager expects you to deliver tickets. Not one of them sat you down and said, hey, here's how career advancement actually works in this industry. So you kept doing what made sense. More courses, more side projects, more late nights, more hoping someone would notice. But effort without architecture is just exhaustion. Think of it this way. Imagine you're building a house. You've got the best bricks in the neighborhood, premium quality. You work harder than anyone else on the street, but you're stacking them without a blueprint. No foundation plan, no load-bearing wall strategy, no structural design. What happens? The walls go up and then they come down. Or worse, they just sit there, a pile of expensive bricks that never becomes anything. That's exactly what's happening to your career right now. You have the raw material, the skills, the intelligence, the drive. What you're missing is the structural blueprint, the specific sequence of moves that transforms raw talent into recognized, promotable, highly paid professionals. Let's explore this hidden operating system. My software career booster works on 3 interlocking layers. Layer 1, visibility engineering. This is the science of making your work impossible to ignore. Research from organizational behavioral studies shows that performance alone accounts for less than 10% of promotion decisions. The other 90%, how visible your contributions are to the people who make these decisions. Most developers are invisible, not because they're underperforming, but because they've never learned how to make their performance legible to leadership. Layer 2, strategic skill stacking. This isn't about learning more things randomly. It's about identifying the precise 20% of skills that produce 80% of the career momentum in your specific context and building them in the right sequence. Erickson's research on deliberate practice proves this. Unfocused practice creates plateaus. Targeted, structured practice creates breakthroughs. There's a massive difference between practicing and practicing the right things in the right order. Layer 3, network leverage. Not schmoozing, not awkward LinkedIn messages, actual strategic relationship building based on Granovetter's strength of weak ties theory, which shows that career opportunities almost never come from your close circle. They come from specific types of peripheral connections that most developers never build because they don't know they should. These 3 layers work together like a flywheel. Visibility gets you noticed. Strategic skills make you promotable. Network leverage creates the opportunities for those promotions to actually happen. Miss any one of them, the flywheel stalls, which is exactly why every other solution you've tried has failed. Generic courses give you layer 2 in isolation, and only the random, unfocused version of it. Networking events give you a broken attempt at layer 3 with no strategy behind it. And layer 1, almost nobody teaches it at all. That's why smart, hardworking developers stay stuck for years. It's not a talent problem. It's not a work ethic problem. It's a system problem. And a system problem requires a system solution. These are the things that no one teaches you. Your university doesn't, and the companies sure don't. How are you expected to know career architecture and the process engineering required to advance it? All along, you thought that there were only 2 factors, hard work and skill. And you've done both and may have been thinking, what is wrong with me? A developer I worked with, Anjana, was stuck for 3 years until she began implementing these principles, and she is now a manager of her own team. Now, you might be thinking, okay, I've tried systems before. I've done the courses, I've read the books, nothing worked. Fair. But here's the difference. Everything you've tried before addressed one layer in isolation, usually the wrong one in the wrong order without connecting the other two. That's like trying to start a car by only turning the key. You also need fuel and a working engine. All three in the right sequence, things happen. Career architecture isn't just another thing to add to your already full plate. It's the thing that makes everything else you've already done actually count. The developers who crack this, and they do crack it, faster than you'd think, don't suddenly become geniuses overnight. They just stop playing game one exclusively. They learn the blueprint. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Look, I have to be straight with you before we go any further. I'm not a career coach. I don't have a PhD in organizational psychology. I've never stood on a TEDx stage talking about the future of work. I'm a software guy. 24 years writing code, managing teams, and watching the industry from the inside. I've been a CTO, a COO, a director of engineering. I've hired young engineers, I've promoted them, and honestly, I've also watched dozens of talented ones quietly disappear. Not because they weren't good enough, but because nobody ever handed them the map. That bothered me for years. So when my own son, 25 years old, sharp as anyone I've ever worked with, started hitting the same invisible wall that I'd watched swallow so many others, I stopped just observing. I went looking for answers. Not opinions, not LinkedIn advice, not hustle harder blog posts. I went into the research. I pulled academic papers, peer-reviewed studies, behavioral science journals, career development research that most people never read because it's buried behind university paywalls and written in a language that makes your eyes glaze over. And what I found stopped me cold, because the answer wasn't hidden. It was sitting right there in plain sight, documented and proven, just never packaged in a way that a junior developer could actually use. Here's what the research actually says. Anders Ericsson's decades of work on deliberate practice, published across multiple peer-reviewed journals, proves that unfocused effort produces almost zero measurable skill growth. It's not about hours logged, it's about targeted practice against specific gaps. Most young engineers grind for years doing the wrong kind of work and wonder why nothing changes. Mark Granovetter's landmark research on professional networks, cited over 17,000 times in academic literature, shows that career-changing opportunities almost never come from your close circle. They come from weak ties, acquaintances, people you barely know. The developers who stay stuck are almost always the ones who never learned how to build those connections strategically. And a study published in the Journal of Vocational Behavior found that professionals with a clearly defined personal brand were significantly more likely to be approached for advancement opportunities, not because they were more skilled, but because they were visible. None of this is my theory. I didn't invent any of it. I just connected the dots that were already there. I walked my son through what I'd found, built him a structured approach based on the research. Self-assessment first, then targeted skill work, then strategic visibility, then network expansion done the right way. My son's application of these principles in civil engineering led to him getting 3 promotions in a 5-year period, from apprentice to associate to full engineer. Then a friend of his asked what he'd done differently. Then 2 more. Then people I'd never met started reaching out. I wasn't trying to build a program. I was just a dad who went digging through research papers because I didn't want to watch my kids stay stuck. But the results kept speaking for themselves. Here's the thing I want you to understand. The reason why you're stuck right now isn't a talent problem. It's not a work ethic problem. Research is clear on this. Career stagnation in young engineers is almost always a system problem. You're missing a structured approach that combines the right skill development, the right visibility, and the right network strategy, all working together at the same time. Nobody taught you this. Your boot camp didn't cover it. Your computer science degree skipped it entirely. Your company certainly isn't going to hand it to you. That's not your fault, but it is your problem to solve. And the evidence that it can be solved systematically, predictably, in a defined time frame is sitting in peer-reviewed journals that most people will never read. I read them, so you don't have to. So here's what I want you to sit with for a second. If career stagnation isn't about talent, if the research proves that it's a system problem with a documented science-backed solution, doesn't it make sense that the right system could change everything for you faster than you think? What would your life look like in 90 days from now if you finally had a system working in your corner? That system exists, and I built it specifically for developers like you. It breaks down the invisible wall I call the junior ceiling. That's why I built Software Career Booster, a complete phase-by-phase career acceleration system built specifically for young engineers who are done waiting to be noticed. This isn't another Udemy course that teaches you one more JavaScript framework and calls it career growth. This is the system that addresses the actual reason you're stuck. Not your code, not your intelligence, not your potential, your strategy. Because here's what nobody tells you when you land that first dev job. Technical skills get you hired, but career strategy gets you promoted. And right now, you have one without the other. Software Career Booster gives you both. Here's exactly what's inside. Phase 1, the clarity engine. Know exactly where you stand and where you're going. Most young engineers spin their wheels because they don't have a clear picture of their actual strengths, their real gaps, or what senior developer even looks like in their specific context. This phase changes that. You'll complete a structured self-assessment that cuts through the noise and tells you exactly what's holding you back. You'll map your career aspirations to a concrete, personalized action plan, not a vague keep learning to-do list. You'll finally know your starting point, and you'll know your destination. This clarity alone is worth more, at most, $500 courses. Phase 2, the skill acceleration blueprint. Build what actually gets you promoted. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most developers study the wrong things. They chase trending frameworks. They complete courses that look good on paper. They grind leaked code at midnight, hoping it'll somehow translate into a promotion. It doesn't. This phase gives you a custom learning roadmap built around deliberate practice, the same method used by elite performers in every field, backed by Ericsson's landmark research on expertise. You'll work on core technical concepts that matter, hands-on projects that prove your ability, and the soft skills that senior developers actually use every single day. You'll stop learning randomly. You'll start learning strategically. Phase 3, the network multiplier. Turn strangers into advocates. You've probably heard, your network is your net worth. So many times it's lost all meaning. But here's the data. Sociologist Mark Granovetter's research on the strength of weak ties shows that most career-changing opportunities come from people you barely know, not your close circle. That means the developer you met once at a meetup could be the person who refers you to your dream job. This phase shows you exactly how to build those connections without feeling fake, without awkward small talk, and without becoming someone you're not. You'll learn how to show up online, how to engage in communities, and how to attract mentors who actually open doors. Networking stops being something you dread. It becomes your unfair advantage. Phase 4, the visibility system. Make recruiters come to you. Right now, you're invisible. Not because you're not good enough, because you haven't built that signal that tells the market you exist. This phase walks you through crafting a personal brand identity that reflects who you actually are. not a polished, fake version of you. You'll optimize your LinkedIn profile, build a portfolio that makes hiring managers stop scrolling, and create a digital presence that works for you while you sleep. Backed by data evidence on personal branding, direct impact on recruitment outcomes. It isn't about vanity, it's about visibility. Because the best developer in the room doesn't get the job, the most visible one does. Phase 5, the promotion playbook. Land the role, negotiate the salary, own the room. This is where it all comes together, leading you to between 20 and 50K extra a year. You'll learn how to read the job market, optimize your resume for the roles that actually match your goals, and walk into interviews with a level of preparation that most candidates never reach. More importantly, you'll learn how to negotiate, because accepting the first offer is leaving money on the table every single time. The average salary difference between a junior and senior developer role sits between $20,000 and $50,000 annually. This phase is designed to help you capture that gap and build a long-term career plan that keeps compounding from there. And every phase comes with practical cheat sheets that you can use immediately. Self-assessment checklists, personal action plan templates, networking and engagement guides, resume and portfolio optimization tips, interview prep and negotiation scripts. No fluff, no filler, just the tools you need to move. Now picture this. It's 6 months from now. You open your laptop on a Monday morning, not with that familiar dread sitting in your chest, but with a quiet confidence. You know what you're working toward. You know why it matters, and you know exactly what you're worth. Your manager asks you to input in a meeting. Your colleagues lean in when you speak. Your LinkedIn inbox has 2 recruiter messages you haven't even opened yet. And the number on your next paycheck, it doesn't feel like a ceiling anymore. It feels like a starting point. That's not a fantasy. That's what happens when you stop guessing and start executing a system that was built specifically for where you are right now. Software Career Booster is that system, and it uses my Career Catalyst method. Built by someone who sat in boardrooms and engineering teams across 14 companies and has 24 years of experience and real-world results, like $20 million in additional revenue and $200 million enabled by my engineering teams. Now let's talk about what this is actually worth. Think about what staying stuck costs you. Every month you spend as a young engineer, invisible, overlooked, grinding away, is another month you're leaving $1,500 to $4,000 on the table. That's not a metaphor. Your paycheck compared to what a senior developer earns. 12 months of stagnation, you've lost $20,000 to $50,000. Gone. You can't get that back. Now compare that to what other people charge to solve this exact problem. A career coach, $150 to $300 per hour. 1 session, 1 hour, no roadmap, no system, no cheat sheets. Just advice you'll forget by Tuesday. A premium tech mentorship program, $1,200 to $2,500. And most of them focus only on technical skills, which, as you now know, is only half the battle. A professional resume and LinkedIn overhaul service, $400 to $800, just for the profile. No networking strategy, no interview prep, no personal brand system. Add it up. To get everything Software Career Booster gives you, piecemeal from different providers, you're looking at $2,000 to $4,000 minimum. And even then, it wouldn't be integrated. It wouldn't be built specifically for young engineers, and it wouldn't follow a proven science-backed 90-day roadmap. So no, I'm not charging $2,000. I'm not charging $1,000. I'm not even charging $500. Software Career Booster is yours today for just $297. That's it, $297. Less than the cost of a single career coaching session. Less than what most developers spend on random Udemy courses that go nowhere. Less than 2 months of coffee runs. And for that $297, here's exactly what you get. Phase 1, program orientation, so you hit the ground running from day one. Phase 2, a complete self-assessment system to uncover your real strengths, map your career goals, and identify the exact skill gaps holding you back. Phase 3, a custom learning roadmap covering both technical depth and the soft skills that actually get you promoted. Phase 4, proven networking strategies that build real professional relationships without feeling fake or desperate. Phase 5, a personal brand and visibility system that makes recruiters come to you, not the other way around. Phase 6, a full career advancement toolkit, resume optimization, interview preparation, and offer negotiation scripts, and a long-term career plan. Cheat sheets and templates, self-assessment checklists, action plan templates, networking guides, portfolio tips, and interview prep frameworks you can use immediately. 6 phases, one integrated system built specifically for young engineers who are done waiting for someone to notice them. And because this is a self-paced digital program, you can start tonight. No waiting, no scheduling, no commute. You go at your speed, whether that's an hour a week or an hour a day. Here's what I need you to understand. The price, $297, is a launch offer. It exists because this program is new, and I wanted to get it into the hands of developers who will use it, apply it, and get results. Once this launch window closes, the price goes up significantly. I'm not going to tell you it's going up someday. I'm telling you it's going up when this launch ends, which is after the first 100 people enroll. And you won't get a warning email. You'll just come back and see a different number on the screen. And here's the harder truth. Every week you wait is another week your more strategic colleagues pull further ahead. Another week of being passed over for the interesting projects. Another week of watching someone with less raw talent get the promotion because they knew how to position themselves. Another week of your salary staying exactly where it is. The technical skills you have right now, they're enough to get started. What's been missing is the system, the roadmap that connects your skills to visibility, visibility to opportunity, and opportunity to the career you actually want. That system is right here, right now, for $297. Click the link below, fill in your details. It takes 60 seconds. You'll get immediate access to the full program, all 6 phases, all the cheat sheets, everything. And if it doesn't deliver, you're covered. I'll show you exactly how in just a moment. And 90 days from now, you'll either be the developer who finally broke through, or you'll be exactly where you are today, watching someone else get the promotion that should have been yours. Click, secure your spot, start tonight. The roadmap is ready. The only question is whether you are. A $297 investment with a potential $20,000 return in year one isn't a purchase. It's the highest return on investment decision you'll make this year. The only thing more expensive than this program is another year of being underpaid. And because I want to make sure you have everything you need to go from invisible to undeniable, I'm stacking these bonuses on top of the program. Yours free, but only when you join today. Bonus 1, the Senior Developer Cheat Code Interview Prep Toolkit. Most young engineers tank interviews not because they can't code, but because they don't know how to talk about their code. This toolkit gives you the exact frameworks, answer structures, and confidence strategies used by developers who land 100K offers. You walk in prepared, you walk out with an offer. This alone is worth more than the entire program price. Bonus 2, Visibility Blueprint, LinkedIn Optimization Playbook. Right now, recruiters are searching LinkedIn for developers exactly like you, and they're not finding you. This step-by-step playbook shows you how to rewrite your profile so it attracts inbound opportunities, without feeling fake, salesy, or like you're showing off. Developers who follow this system report getting their first recruiter message within 2 weeks. Stop waiting for opportunities, start getting found. Bonus 3, the 30-day network sprint action guide. Networking feels fake because you've been doing it wrong. You need a cure for feeling isolated and lonely. This guide gives you a dead simple 30-day plan to execute 10 genuine career changing connections, even if you're introverted, hate small talk, and cringe at the word networking. Real strategies, zero awkwardness. Because one right connection can do more for your career than 12 months of grinding alone. Bonus 4, the Skill Gap Assassin Self Assessment Workbook. You can't fix what you can't see. This workbook walks you through a precise diagnostic to identify exactly which skills are holding you back and which ones to prioritize for maximum career impact. No more guessing, no more wasting months on the wrong thing. You'll finish this in one sitting and have a crystal clear action plan before the day is over. Let's add that up. So that leads to a total of $248 in bonuses. Yours free, today only, when you join the Software Career Booster, teaching you the Career Catalyst method. Now, I know what you might be thinking. I've bought courses before, I did the modules, nothing changed. I hear you, and honestly, that's a fair concern. Most courses dump content on you and disappear. No roadmap, no feedback loop, no real-world application, just videos you watch and forget. This is different, but I don't expect you to take my word for it. So here's what I'm offering. The promotion-ready 60-day money-back guarantee. Join Software Career Booster today. Go through the first 60 days, do the self-assessment, start your career roadmap, apply the networking strategies, optimize your profile. If after 60 days you don't feel measurably clearer, more confident, and closer to the promotion or job offer you've been chasing, email us. One message, no lengthy explanations required, no loops, no guilt. Every penny back, fast. That's it. I've helped engineering teams generate over $200 million in revenue. I know what career changing looks like. Here's why we can offer this without hesitation, an endorsement from one of my mentees, Ankit, who's been promoted twice.
Stephen has spent 24 years in software development and 12 years in IT service delivery. He's been promoted 9 times. He's held titles from Director of Engineering to Chief Operations Officer. He's built teams, fixed broken systems, and engineered processes that generated over $200 million in revenue. He knows exactly what separates the developers who rise from the ones who stay stuck. And he built this program around that knowledge.
The risk is gone. The only question left is this. Are you going to keep waiting for your career to change on its own, or are you going to do something about it today? Here's something you need to hear right now. Every single day you stay stuck at junior level costs you money, real money. We're talking about $50 to $150 in lost daily earnings compared to where you could be. That's not a metaphor. That's your salary gap compounding every morning you wake up and nothing has changed. And here's the thing about this program. The current price of $297 is an introductory rate for founding members. Once this enrollment window closes, it goes up significantly. Because I'm actively refining the program with each new cohort, and as the results stack up, so does the price. But the price increase isn't even the real urgency. The real urgency is this. Right now, somewhere, a developer with the same skills as you is making a move. They're building the personal brand. They're getting in front of the right people. They're walking into interviews prepared, and they're getting the offer you wanted. Every week you wait is another week of being overlooked, another week of watching someone else get promoted, another week of your family asking the question you dread at dinner. You've already lost months, maybe years, to the I'll figure it out eventually approach. How much longer can you afford to wait? Let's be honest about where you stand right now. You have exactly three paths in front of you. Path one, the waiting game. Keep showing up, keep working hard, keep hoping someone notices. Keep watching the senior roles go to people who aren't necessarily smarter than you. They just know something you don't. In 12 months, you'll be in the exact same place. Same title, same salary, same quiet frustration. And the gap between you and where you want to be will be even wider. Path 2, the solo struggle. Another Udemy course, another YouTube rabbit hole, another networking event where you stand awkwardly near the snack table and leave with nothing but a headache. You've already tried this, it hasn't worked, not because you're not smart enough, but because scattered effort without a system never works for anyone. Path 3, the catalyst path. Join Software Career Booster. Get the exact 90-day system that covers every piece of the puzzle. Self-assessment, skill targeting, networking strategy, personal brand, interview prep, offer negotiation. Not generic advice, not another coding tutorial. A complete structured acceleration plan built by someone who spent 24 years navigating the exact industry you're trying to break through, and who's engineered over $200 million in results by doing one thing exceptionally well: building the right systems. For $297, less than a single night out, you'll get the roadmap that could add 20,000 to 50,000 to your annual salary. The math isn't complicated. The average London-based junior dev earns £40,000. The average senior there earns £75,000. That's £2,916 a month you're leaving on the table. I want to leave you with one thought. Being stuck isn't a personality trait. It isn't a verdict on your talent. It isn't proof that you don't belong in this industry. It's just what happens when ambition meets the wrong strategy. You have the ambition. That's already clear. You're here listening to this, still pushing. That matters more than you know. Now, you just need the strategy. Software Career Booster gives you exactly that: a clear, science backed, step by step system that takes you from invisible to promotion ready, with the skills, the network, the brand, and the confidence to back it up. This system was built by someone who's been promoted 9 times across 14 companies and who knows exactly what decision makers look for. This is your moment to stop waiting for someone to notice you and to start making yourself impossible to ignore. Click below, secure your spot. Get started today. $297, one decision, a completely different career trajectory. You've earned the right to move up. Now take it. P.S. The introductory price of $297 won't last. Once this enrollment window closes, the price increases to reflect the full value of the program. If you're listening to this, the offer is still live, but that window is closing. Every day you wait is another day of lost income, lost momentum, and lost ground to developers who are already making their move. Click below and let's get you unstuck for good.